So today I'm talking to our military people because you are the ones that can qualify for VA, and I want to specifically talk about VA loans and whether to buy or rent if you're stationed here for 2 to 3 years at Sheppard Air Force Base. And we're getting started right now. So welcome back to another episode of Your Wichita Falls. I'm Debbie Dobbins. I am your host. And we're going to talk today about PSCing to Sheppard Air Force Base and whether you should buy or whether you should rent because you're only going to be here for a short period of time. Now, I have this conversation with many military people on a regular basis, and I'm here to tell you that most of the time when I have the conversation and I explain to them how much more you will benefit by buying a home as opposed to renting for these 3 years that you're here, it's astronomical. And in a little bit later on in the video, I'm going to share with you some links that you can actually figure the numbers out for yourself. But I just wanted to share to begin with that it is so much more beneficial to purchase than it is to rent because you are building equity. And with rent prices far exceeding what purchase price monthly mortgage payments are, this has never been a better time to buy rather than rent. And the benefit of being military and having VA benefits is that you get in for no money down. Now, I love the benefits of VA, and I've talked about doing a VA streamline, and one of those great benefits. Another great benefit of having VA benefits is that you can buy a house for absolutely no outlay of cash. And that's really appealing to a lot of people, and the rest of us can't do that if you haven't served. So the fact of the matter is that you can get into a house, no deposit, no first month's rent, no nothing. You just buy a house. You may put a little deposit down to secure the property, but you get that back. So even though VA loans are still one of the most attractive home financing options for veterans and military borrowers, and also 2020 was another record-breaking year for the VA loans, there are some pros and cons to a VA loan. So let's dive into those pros and cons, because at the end of the day, I'm speaking to those moving to Wichita Falls for a short period of time and whether or not it's better to buy or to rent. The biggest pro of any type of purchase versus renting is the equity that you build in that property, because this is actually wealth. And I've talked about it in many other videos. The equity and the wealth that you build in when you buy a home is beyond anything that you could possibly find out there by putting your money in a savings account. It also is the freedom that you have from being a homeowner. Who doesn't want to not have a landlord to report to? The various write-offs that you get and the potential, here's a really interesting thing, the potential to be a real estate investor. Surprisingly, here in Wichita Falls by the base, historically, vets have bought homes here, moved on to their next location, rented the property out, and then become real estate investors because they can purchase another home with a VA loan because our purchase prices are so low. It's a win-win bonus. But the most important thing to consider are these pros and cons. So let's talk about the pros for a VA loan. There's no down payment. Yay! There's no mortgage insurance. Yay! There's higher allowable debt to income ratio, means that you can have more debt than say somebody who's doing a conventional or an FHA loan. There's credit flexibility. That's just a nice way of saying that it's an easier loan to qualify for, because at the end of the day, credit scores come into play, and I've done plenty of videos on that as well. So listen to that video. But the fact is VA is a lot more lenient when it comes to your credit scores. And this is one of the best parts of all, is that they have a better than average interest rate. So typically you could get a 3.2% loan on conventional, and you're looking at 2.25 to 2, and not even 2.5 right now for VA, which is pretty substantial difference. So that interest rate being low helps you build equity faster, paying down your balance quicker. So And the end of the day, those VA loans are just exceptional. And going forward, you have multiple refinance options with that VA loan that you don't have with other types of loans. There's never a prepayment penalty, and they're assumable. So when you sell that house, you can have somebody assume your VA. Now keep in mind, you don't get your eligibility back. So there's a pro and a con to that as well. And then there are cons. I will say there are some cons. I don't think they're very big, but we want to talk about them. The funding fee. So instead of having mortgage insurance, you pay a funding fee. That funding fee is added to your loan amount, and it also will be a higher funding fee because the funding fee increases after multiple uses with a VA loan. And that being said, if you're buying a house with no money down and you add a funding fee on there, your loan could exceed the market value. In addition to that, when you add closing costs on. So one of the things that's important is to shop for that loan so that you have fewer closing costs added on to your loan, because you want to not exceed that market value by very much. In addition to that, keep in mind that you're still building equity from the appreciation and from the amount that you're paying down on that loan over those next 3 years. I put a link to a chart so you can see the difference between renting and owning, even with a VA loan. And for those of you who already have researched VA loans, you can only do them on primary residences. Good news is if you refinance a VA loan and it's on a rental property because you turned it into a rental property, you still get primary residence rates, which is awesome. And the other con, and I will tell you that it happens here a little bit, real estate agents may not be familiar with how they work. And I know for a fact here in Wichita Falls, some real estate agents won't accept offers or will guide their sellers not to accept offers on VA loans. I don't have that problem, but the fact is that it takes a little bit of education, so I'm happy to help you with that in any way that I can. And as usual, if you click the link below, you can schedule a Zoom meeting with me to go over more details about VA loans. In the end, it's a personal decision, but I promise you, most of the time, it's better to buy, even on a short-term stint here in Wichita Falls at Sheppard Air Force Base, than it is to rent. In the end, you actually come out making more money. So click the link below, watch the next 2 videos, and as I always say, y'all come back now, you hear?